Hey guys, so it's Sarah bringing you another video. Now today's extra video is actually a pretty important one, so hopefully people will watch it, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's a little bit different and it's obviously not a gameplay video, but it's going to be talking about champion pools, and today we are going to be making my initial draft of my champion pool for Season 7, specifically for my main account. So the account that I'm going to do Claim to Master on, this is what the champion pool is going to be, at least in the beginning. So my philosophy with League of Legends is it's a video game over everything else. So you should always do what you find is good and what you enjoy and what you have fun with. And for me, I could never be a one-trick pony, and I can't really be somebody that has a very small amount of mains. I have to have what I call a living champion pool. So I have a champion pool, I lock the champions in, but it's forever changing. I'm not like I'm going to play Lee Sin the whole season. If Lee Sin suddenly becomes weak, he's booted, he's gone, he'll be replaced. That's what I do in League of Legends. Part of it is being, just in the meta, but I'm not going to play every single champion that is known to be OP. I'm going to play champions that are known to be strong, that I'm good at, and I enjoy. So it's going to tick all those three criteria. There will be some exceptions when it comes to strong and being really good, and that will just because my enjoyment of the champion just overpowers everything else. I just love that champion and I know I'm pretty good with it, so I'll play it. So you'll go to different League of Legends channels just before we begin, and people always ask the same question: what is the best way to climb in League of Legends? Honestly, nobody knows the right answer. You have to find that for yourself. As for me, I've been Diamond now since Season 3, and I can get an account to Diamond fairly easily, especially if I were to play my main champions. So this has worked for me, the living champion pool method. I've done it for years. It did get me to Diamond 1 several seasons ago, and since then, Diamond 2, Diamond 3 is kind of where I sit. But now League of Legends is actually my job, technically. I'm going to give it a good go and try to develop a nice champion pool that's kind of well-rounded, and hopefully you guys will enjoy and you'll kind of get what I'm doing. So the thing with developing a champion pool, and again, this is how I do it, there are many ways to do it, is I use 3 different websites. And again, first thing, these are not sponsors of mine, I just use the websites and I'm just showing you what I do. First one is League of Graphs. I don't think it's a very well-known website, but to me, it actually offers something that no other website does, or at least I haven't found it. And that is basically a breakdown of how good you are in different roles, and it goes off like that type of information. So that always is a really nice feature. Second website is op.gg. Arguably the website that gives you the most information and very precise. I know LOL King had an update recently, but I'm just used to op.gg. And then finally, champion.gg. So with this website, I'll go into win rates and just see how they're doing, and also looking at patch performance, because if you're developing a champion pool, you don't want to pick champions that were crazy strong right now and may get nerfed. You kind of want to have a champion that's got a good win rate over multiple patches. So we'll be also looking into that. So the idea of what you should do is load up your own profile, and for the sake of this video, I do have 4 accounts in Diamond right now. I'm only going to be focusing on my main account, which is Huzzy. And again, when I actually refine this champion pool to be complete, I will take into account my other accounts, because obviously they're important, but for the sake of the video, we're only going to look at this account. So you load up your profile, and then you may think, what do I do next? Well, looking at what your favorite champions are in ranked, looking at what win percentage you have on them is always a good place to start, but also looking at what roles. So I am going to be making a champion pool today for all 5 roles. The reason for it is a wonderful thing called autofill. I personally don't mind autofill because I do value a skillful player in League, someone that can play everything. I don't mind it. I enjoy the fact that I could play randomly anything at any time, but I also have to be prepared for it. And I recommend you guys too. And if you just never have the aspiration to play support, I would recommend just to have 1 or 2 support champions that you know how to play, and maybe have a room page for them, just in case you're given support. Again, you don't want to have these random losses happen because you're not prepared for autofill. So we are going to be preparing a champion pool for all 5 roles. So for the 2016 Season 6 season, this was how I went on my main account. So we played more mid lane than anything else, but we actually had a slightly negative win rate in mid lane, believe it or not. Then top lane, we had, again, second most games, and we had an okay win rate. What you're looking at generally to have a nice win rate is anything over 51%. If you're playing a lot of games in League of Legends, and if you have a 51% win rate, that's actually pretty good. Again, an average, when you would level off in how good you are, you're looking at a 50% win rate. So anything over 50%, you're doing pretty well. Then if we go into the jungle, 57% win rate with 71 games, so pretty damn good. And then AD carry, surprisingly, 56. I only played 5 support games in the whole of Season 6 on my main account, and that landed me with a 20% win rate, so I would have won 1 game. But there you go. That is what my breakdown is. Now, this could help you determine what roles you're going to main, because some people, they don't look at this information and go, I'm an AD carry main, but if they actually looked at their statistics, they could have a terrible win rate. So always look to your strengths. Obviously, sure, look at what you enjoy. But for me right now, looking at this information is, yes, the mid lane rate is a little bit disappointing. Is that going to put me off playing mid? Not entirely, because when we look into the champions, I can kind of just get rid of the champions that I wasn't performing on. So when it's that close to 50%, don't be that down on yourself. So right now for me, my main 3 roles that I'm looking to kind of go, okay, I'm going to develop my champion pool around these 3 roles is mid, top, and jungle. And I'm already thinking in my own head and what I'm kind of wanting to do. And again, that's a big part of it. What do you want to do? I think in Season 7, at least the start of Season 7, I'm going to main mid. And then as my second role that I queue up as, I'm actually going to probably put jungle. Because jungle to me and mid both offer so much map pressure that I can control the map. And if I do well, the likelihood of winning is pretty good. And I trust myself to carry, so going mid and jungle is 2 good roles. Having top as like my maybe reserve, that if I'm just not playing very well in one of the roles, I could just substitute those for top lane. So definitely having a good amount of top lanes as well. And then AD carry and support being my kind of reserve roles, or very much reserve roles, that maybe I only have 1 or 2 champions for and 1 or 2 rune pages for. Again, my main account has all 20 rune pages. I know a lot of you guys won't have that, but it has over 120,000 IP spare. I own every single rune in the game, so I can make any combination of rune page that I want with the 20 maximum. I do wish they'd raise that maximum of 20. I'd like 25, just to give me a little bit more personalization with my rune pages, but that's just nitpicking. So that's what I would start at, is just go in League of Graphs, see your win percentages per role. Maybe it'll surprise you, maybe it won't. Next stage is looking into your win percentages on your champions, and this is where you kind of have to start making sacrifices. So as you can see here, my Gangplank, pretty good in Season 6. I played 64 games on him, and I got a 56% win rate. Again, as I mentioned, anything over a 50% win rate in a decent amount of games, you're doing really well. So a 56% win rate in Diamond is great. But the problem is, if we head on over to champion.gg, and this is where you can start using the different websites, go on Gangplank. I personally play him top, not mid. Yeah, the story isn't great for him. So if we go on win percentage by patch, his current win percentage is 48%. And as I mentioned to you guys, you want to see a champion have a decent amount of strength per patches. So if you look at Gangplank, his past positive win rate was all the way back in 6.19. Ever since 6.19, so 6.20, 6.21, 6.22, and now 6.23, he's had a negative win rate. Now, some people say, oh, don't let win rates kind of put you off. I personally do rate win rates to look at how strong a champion is, because if it's losing more than it's winning, why would you pick it over something else, personally? Like, if you just love a champion, and I do love Gangplank, but I don't love him that much to play something, like, to play him over something that's just stronger. That's the idea. So right now, Gangplank is not going to be in my champion pool. That's kind of what I'm saying. Next champion on the list, again, Karthus, 42% win rate, 54, nearly a 55% win rate. Again, he's not known to be very strong. If we go over onto champion.gg, maybe we'll be surprised. I haven't looked up this information in a while. His win rate per patch, his current win rate is 52%. I'm sure a lot of people may be surprised on how strong Karthus is. I know I always surprise people with how much damage I'm doing to them. So Karthus, let me just say, is 100% going to be in my champion pool. What we could probably do right away is just quickly add him in. So the reason why Karthus is going in my champion pool is a couple reasons. One, I love the champion. And I know, surprisingly, some people think, oh, he's really boring. And, you know, I just like the champion. It's very hard to describe why I like him so much, but I do. The second point is he's underrated. Because he has a low pick rate, you can see here, his play rate is 1.3%. He's hardly picked. That means people are not used to play against Karthus. If you pick like a Riven or a Yasuo in your champion pool, Everybody knows how to play against those champions because they're nearly in every single game. It's good to have just weird surprise picks that people aren't used to. And for me, in my mid lane, Karthus is definitely that pick. Third way is he's a great carry champion. And again, if you want to go higher in rating, there's no point picking a champion that can't carry. You need to carry if you don't trust your teammates. And if I want to get back to Diamond at the beginning of the season, like right away, he's going to be great for that. I can win a game basically by myself as Karthus if I get to late game. So he's a great carry champion that I enjoy, and he's got a positive win rate. Combine that all together, it's a no-brainer for me personally. Again, this is what you guys need to do. So you can see he also can be played top lane, and some people may kind of be like, are you going to pick him top lane as well? No. So I am also a firm believer that I will only play champions where I believe they're actually pretty damn strong, and I will be like, okay, so Karthus to me is a mid laner. I'm not going to play him in other roles. That's just me. You could play him in top lane or like something similar if you really wanted to, but I don't do that. So let's go back onto champion.gg, and what we actually could do is just go on the champion thingy here into, wait a minute, wrong bit in there. If we go on to see more, that's what, okay. So, Anivia next champion. So, this is where I mentioned to you guys is that the mid lane, even though I shouldn't have clicked see more, even though I love mid lane and it's probably arguably my best role, had a negative win rate here. The reason why I wasn't off put by the 0.5% of a negative win rate is because I personally remembered that even though Anivia is known to be one of my best champions, I knew on my main account on Huzzy, I had a terrible season on Anivia. You can see here I played 32 games. I had a 37.5% win rate for one of my best champions. That is bad. The weird thing is and I know in this video we're only focusing on my main account. If I go on 2 or 3 of my other accounts, I have like a 60% plus win rate on Anivia. So that's just a weird kind of outlier. This is why I'm not really bothered about the negative win rate in mid lane. But is Anivia going to be in my champion pool for this season? Well, let's just have a quick look. Anivia, let's see how she's doing. So her win rate is still positive. It was incredibly good at 6.22, but it has fluctuated a little bit, but always been positive. You can also see the play rate was more positive, but since she got those couple of changes that are a little bit weird and her mechanics are a little bit more tricky, her play rate has also gone down. Is she going to be in my champion pool? Maybe. Because when I say maybe, and I always do this to myself, it's going to be there because I know I'm personally good at Anivia, but she's maybe because if I can find something that could be better, then I won't play Anivia. But what does Anivia offer me? And again, this is part of building a champion pool, is Anivia is a great team fighting champion, but she's also a great delaying champion. So if you do okay in mid lane, but your team suck and they just get wrecked, Anivia is great at kind of making a game longer, putting your ultimate down, killing minions so they can't get to a tower, and just delaying the game until your teammates can get strong. So Anivia is good in that aspect, but the couple changes she has received recently has made her mechanics a little bit less fluent and has taken away some of the strengths that she used to have, i.e. bursting people like crazy. She can't do that with her E with how the changes have gone. So she is a maybe, and the idea is if I can find a champion that is better at her job, that maybe she's a bit stronger right now, then I will pick that over Anivia. So we're going to just kind of leave her for now. Next one is the old mighty Lee Sin. So again, this is one of the champions that have survived the test of time for me. If I go actually on op.gg, go into the champions tab, and just show you, so Season 3 is where I first got my diamond rating, and again, 50% win rate on Lee Sin. I used him a little bit. It was where I was kind of starting to pick him up. But then Season 4, Lee Sin, top win rate. Top played champion, Lee Sin, next one with actually a negative, a negative win rate, I think. Oh no, positive slightly. Sorry, my eyes are still a little bit dodgy. And then still Lee Sin. So personally, Lee Sin is a champion that I always play. I don't always use him to climb, and that's the problem. But I find him a solid pick as a jungler if I don't really know what I want to play. And I'm like, okay, what should I play? I'll just default back to Lee Sin. So Lee Sin is definitely going back into my champion pool. And maybe this upcoming season I'll put a little bit more time onto him and actually get that carry potential back. Because the idea of more mechanically advanced champions, so Lee Sin, Riven, Yasuo, these type of champions, you do need to play them more if you want to be strong at them, if you want to be good at them, and I will probably play Lee Sin more. That's the idea. If we actually just stay on op.gg for a while, you can see my next champion that I was actually waiting for is Lux. So Lux is a champion that I've always enjoyed, even back, if we go, maybe Season 4, roughly, or season... It's hard to kind of remember because I've played in every season. But I have used Lux throughout the years. Maybe if we do a Control F, and I type correctly. Okay, so there's Lux. So I didn't play her much last season. Did I play her the season before that? Let's have a look. Nope, apparently not. Before that, maybe? Nope. Apparently I didn't play much Lux where I thought... Oh, no, wait. Okay, so the Control F isn't working. So I did play a little bit of Lux in Season 3. Again, this was the highest rating I was. This was back in Diamond 1 when I was playing with pros and stuff. So Lux I just enjoy. I've played her for years. And also, it's a little bit of a bonus, and you can't kind of bash it. She got a really cool skin recently, so that even gives me more reason to pick Lux. And I know she's really popular right now because of the skin, but eventually that will die out, and eventually I'll have basically Lux for free. She's not going to get banned. She probably won't get picked that much in a few weeks, few months. So Lux is a good champion just to have there solid. Right, so next champion that I'm probably going to put in the list is, waiting for him, Renekton. So if we actually look into the RenektonOP.gg, again, using all the websites to try and do his best, you can see something that I noticed yesterday when I was doing a little bit of research. Look at the win rate go bonk. So the past few patches, he's had a solid win rate. And this is what I mean. Every single patch has been a slightly positive win rate. So that means if you're a good Renekton player, you've already got a positive win rate. And then if you're a good Renekton player, you can make that even better. But then suddenly he got a massive bonk in his win rate. So that's a good sign. Because he's had this consistency and then a little bit of a bunk, he probably isn't going to get nerfed. He's had consistency over the last few months, and Renekton is a really good carry champion. Again, developing a champion pool will require some knowledge in the game. You know, I'm not going to go into why Renekton is a carry champion, but he is. He can win lane, and if he's not doing great, he can just go tank and help. So he's a great champion for me personally that I enjoy to try and do well in the top lane. And again, he is going to be one of these reserve champions of mine that even though I may not be maining top lane, he's definitely going to be there whenever I need him. And also, you have to kind of... If you're picking champions for your off roles, so my off roles are going to be top, AD carry and support, don't pick crazy mechanically advanced champions. I'm not going to pick Riven as my off top laner because that I need to play more Riven to be good at Riven, so it would be pointless. Renekton is a little bit more basic. I've played him for years, so it's a good fit. Okay, next champion. So we've got two mid laners, we've got one jungler, we've got one top laner. We don't have any AD carries or supports as of right now. You can see my Misfortune, not bad win rate, but Misfortune, let's be honest, if we go into the champion.gg and just have a quick look. Yeah, so she still has a positive win rate, but what you can see here is that she had a crazy high win rate for 3 patches. Then she got nerfed, but she still maintained a positive win rate. Now, I know some people go, oh, that was a good nerf then. Riot's history of nerfs is if they have a really strong champion, they nerf it, and it stays a good positive win rate. There's still 51%. They may nerf it again. So Misfortune right now is not safe. Therefore, I am not going to pick her in my champion pool because she is still at risk for getting nerfed. So that's kind of why I will not pick her. Moving down the list, so another champion that I was actually thinking, and actually, well, two, is Ziggs or Victor. So these are two champions that could rival the Anivia pick. So like I mentioned to you guys, is Anivia, I like her, but I had a kind of a bad season on my main account on her, so I was looking for alternatives. So what does Anivia offer? Well, she offers teamfight, she offers burst, but she also offers that delay I was talking about. So if I was doing okay, but my teammates suck, Anivia at least can clear minion waves really easily to like stop them pushing. Ziggs can do that, and so can Victor. So why would I pick Anivia that currently has got like just an over positive win rate, but has got changed recently for Ziggs or Victor? So let's just have a little look into firstly Victor. So let's see how he's doing. So you can see his win rate has fluctuated a bit, so he doesn't have that consistency, but his current win rate is very similar to Anivia's in 51%. If we look at Ziggs, we can see he's had a little bit of inconsistency, but he's got a more of a positive win rate and offers the same job to Anivia, and also his play rate is a little bit, like, is quite low. So if we look at his play rate here, it's 3.5%. Victor's is 9%, so people are used to playing against Victor more. And if we look into Anivia, well, her play rate is actually less, but again, she's got that inconsistency and has been changed recently. So for me, personally, and then it was like, I also look into my win rates, Ziggs is a slight loss, or a slight negative. Victor's more of a negative, and then obviously Anivia is also a negative. So in between these three champions that do the same roles and the same job, I'm going to go with Ziggs. I haven't played Ziggs for a while. He actually used to be one of my favorite champions. I've got a massive Ziggs statue behind me. So I'm going to play Ziggs. I like him. He's really fun to play. His W is kind of like the new plant mechanic, but he's obviously always had it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put Ziggs in. Again, these aren't locked in stone. I can change them if I want to. But what you have to look at now is how well-rounded my champion pool is, and do they offer different things. So Karthus is my underrated OP pick that I can carry a game basically 1v5 if I manage to get to late game. Lux is my kind of just basic mid laner if I'm against something that I don't really know how to play well against. So if it's like an Azir or a LeBlanc, then maybe Lux would be a great idea because she can play very safe from the back line, lasering stuff and being very useful in picking people. Ziggs is my delaying champion that if I'm not very confident with my team comp, maybe Ziggs would be good because he offers everything the team needs, but he also gives that delay in his mind and his Q for pushing minion waves out. Is there anything I'm missing here in my mid lane champion pool? One thing. An AD mid laner. Again, this is what I do with my champion pools. You guys may not necessarily, need to or have to or want to, but I like having options. So all these champions are AP. If I randomly get a Nidalee jungle and a Rumble top lane, my team then does not actually have that much AD damage. I personally don't play Gangplank mid because I know some people are like, oh, just play Gangplank mid. I personally don't like him mid lane, so I'm going to look for a different champion that I could potentially play mid. Now, some people may be happy about this, and some people will be like, why would you do that? I am thinking, and again, I have thought about this the past few days, Zed. If you've been with my channel quite a while, you may remember I used to play Zed a lot. I used to be more of a mid laner back when I was in tournament teams and stuff like that, and Zed actually used to be one of my best picks. He was the champion, I believe, in Season 6. He was the only pentakill that I got on my main account, was Zed, and I just enjoy the champion. He's really fun to play. You can do outplay potential on him. And he's an AD. He kind of fits the bill. So let's just kind of do a little bit of research on Zed, see how he's doing. Because it's not a pretty picture, let's just point that out. So his win percentage right now is 47 here, 48, 47, 47, and also has gone down 47. So when his win rate is really bad, let's be honest. It's not great. The problem is, and this is what you also have to look into, is Zed is known as one of these... How to word it? I'm going to play Zed randomly champion. So I'm mid lane, my team's AP, I'm just going to play Zed. Never played him before, I'm going to play Zed. Like, that's what people do with this champion. They don't put a lot of time into him, and that can skew the win rate. The reason why I say this, if you kind of look over here to the win rate by games played, so this will show you the more you play on this champion, how does it affect the win rate on average. So a random person that has only played 1 to 5 games, win rate will be 40%, and this is what I mean, it skews the win rate. Next up, the 5 to 15 games played is a 41% win rate. Next up, the 15 to 50 games played, 47% win rate. Next up is a 50 to 125 games, so a decent amount of games, still negative. But then if you go up to the basically where the Zed mains are, so you're talking like Azo and people like this, Zed's OP, 57% win rate. So that shows you, if you know what you're doing on Zed and you are a good Zed player, he has a 47% win rate. That is an insane win rate. That's like one of the probably the best in the game. So he's good if you know what you're doing at him. So always like look at win rates, but always look at like if people are actually good at the champion, because these win rates, they are skewed by people just randomly picking the champion up who don't know what they're doing. Where this will. By the way, just to mention, I forgot to, all these win rates are only taken from Platinum Plus games. So these are still Platinum players playing Zed with a negative win rate. But it's a lot different, a Platinum player just randomly picking a champion up and maybe a Platinum main Zed type thing. So yeah, that's a really good win rate. It's 57%. So he's going in my champion pool. It's going to take me a while to actually get used to playing Zed again. But I will probably take that risk and I will just put him there whenever I need him. I will probably practice him a little bit. But having a dedicated rune page for him, again, that's a big part of why I put champions in my champion pool, is having a good rune page. He's going to fit in there nicely. And right now, I'm going to say my mid lane is locked in for now. I'm not looking to put any more champions than 4 champions in my champion pool at any one time. I think 4 is enough. If you look at each champion, they offer... Some of them are similar to what they kind of do, but they offer everything I need. The only one that I could potentially have that I don't is maybe like a massive long-range champion. Ziggs kind of does fill that, and so does Lux, but I could put Xerath in there if I really wanted to, just to have the ultimate, but I don't need to, because again, similarities, I don't need something that similar, because my other champions do fill that role. So that's mid lane locked in. So the next one I'm going to try and focus on a little bit is jungle, because jungle is going to be my secondary role, and there is going to be a champion that I'm going to try and find that I used to play quite a lot. Some people may have noticed it already, but I used to play a lot of Vi. Vi used to actually be the logo of my channel, the Vi Fist. Back in Season 4, and maybe back in Season 3, I played a lot of Vi. My Vi was actually pretty good, and if we go on champion.gg and do the old search on Vi, it will show you that her win percentage right now is 54%. And again, if we go over to the win percentage by games played, it's negative if you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, it's again 58%. That's like really good. She's really strong, and I don't think I'm the only one that has randomly got one shot by a Vi that only has Triforce. She's really strong, and she's got good carry potential, and she's awesome, and this is one thing to say, versus the carry champions of top lane and stuff like that. So a Riven, Yasuo, she's really good versus those champions. Why? She can lock them down completely. She presses one button, she presses R on those champions. Most of the time it's a free kill, so that's why she's going in my champion pool 100%. There's two main reasons. One, I've kind of missed playing Vi. I even have a statue on the way of her because I just like how she looks and she's a cool champion. But two, she's underrated. Her play rate is going up, by the way. It is rising quite a lot. But she's good. I think she'll always be good, and she can be played multiple ways. She can be played the carry way, but if you're finding that you're not having a great game, just go tank. Go tank and be a CC bot. Just press R, press Q, and you can CC people. Or if somebody jumps on your AD carry, you can just press R on the person that's going on your AD carry. She's great in that aspect. She can be a carry champion, but she also can be the Robin to, you know, your team's Batman. She can just defend your team. So she's definitely going into my champion pool. Some people may be happy about that because, again, she used to be played on my channel a lot more. Like I mentioned, she actually used to be my introduction. The whole HuzzyGames intro used to get punched by the Vi Fist at the beginning of a video. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to make sure that goes down like that. So yeah, she's going to be back in my champion pool. So again, 3 or 4 champions is generally what I look for when I'm picking junglers. So we've got a Lee Sin that obviously is just there because I love Lee Sin. We're going to have Vi as a carry, or, you know, both Lee Sin and Vi are kind of similar if you think about it, but they do offer a couple different things. If I'm feeling like I'm in a really skillful mood and I can pull things off, then I'll play Lee Sin. If I'm in maybe a little bit of a lazier mood, or if I'm against something like a Riven or a Yasuo and I just want to lock them down, then I'll play Vi. What I do need now is potentially a tank, and I know I did say that, you know, if you want to go up in rating, carry people, but you can still carry as a tank. It just depends what tank you're playing. I wouldn't recommend playing, like, to me personally, I wouldn't play a Moo because I think he can get counter jungled. So you want to have a tank that's hard to counter jungle, but also can carry. Well, there's 2 that strike me straight away that I have actually been playing a little bit over the years. One of them especially, and that, if I just show you here, is Zac. So right now, his win rate has tanked a little bit. So he had a very strong win rate. His win rate has tanked a little bit. Again, the better you are, Zac, good win rate he has. But he is what I would call a great carry tank, in the fact that he's got an amazing engage that just randomly ganks from anywhere he wants. He can protect his team, he can engage, he basically offers everything that you want. And if I try just to go through a little bit and see if we can find him, boom, there's Zac all the way back in Season 3. I played him back then. Is he there in Season 4? He might be somewhere. But I have played him throughout the years. I have enjoyed him throughout the years. And I think I've played him a little bit. Yeah, I played him a little bit in this season. I did quite well. So Zac is actually going to go in my champion pool because he offers me that tankness that I don't have right now, but he still offers me that carry potential. And, you know, carrying is a couple things. Carrying can be having a lot of kills and killing everybody. Being a carry in the jungle can also mean just getting your team ahead in the early game, and Zac is really good at doing that. Now, if we go through my champion pool and just be like, okay, so with the jungle champion pool right now, we've got 2 AD kind of carry champions, Lee Sin and Vi. We've now got an engaging tank that is AP damage. What am I kind of missing? Where I'm kind of missing an AP jungler that is also a carry, like a pure AP carry. So 2 strike me in mind. One is Nidalee, but my Nidalee isn't very good. Most of the time it's because I just don't put a lot of time into her. But the other one is Elise. I, again, used to play a lot more Elise. I did quite well recently in the A to Z video. But how is she doing? Well, in this season, I only played 4 games of her. I did have a 3-1 win rate. How was I doing seasons ago? Did I play Elise last season? Just have a quick look through. Can't see her. Can't see her right now. So maybe I didn't... Okay, there's Elise. I did quite bad last season. Season before that, how much Elise? I played a lot more Elise, still a negative win rate. Season 3, she was my second most played. So I do know what I'm doing on Elise. That's a good win rate back then. But how is Elise doing as a champion? I enjoy her. I think she's strong. She does have a negative win rate, however. So that... I'm a little bit on the fence about Elise right now. You can also see, obviously, her win rate does go up by amount of games played, but this is the difference. When I said Zed, everybody thinks he's in a weak spot right now. He had a 7 or 58% win rate for mains. And main Elise with 125 games plus has only got a 51% win rate. That is not a good sign. So all the players that actually know what they're doing only have a 51% win rate. And I know earlier I said 51% is pretty damn good. Not compared to other champions. So if a Zed with 125 games plus has a 57% win rate and then Elise has 51, maybe there are stronger alternatives to Elise. So I'm going to put a question mark on her right now. I do enjoy the champion. She's good at carrying, but is there other champions that kind of could fit the bill? Let's just have a quick little look. So Gragas, he is an AP, but he's not pure AP. What other junglers? Kayle is an opportunity. You know, Kayle could be. People don't really play Kayle anymore, so that could be an underrated pick. There is the Nidalee. Again, I used to play more Nidalee than I do right now. If this is Season 3, this actually might have been mid-lane Nidalee now that I think of it. But right now, I can't really think of a champion that kind of fits the bill for an AP jungler. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it right now, put a pin in it. Can't really think of it. So the next role we're going to go into is top lane. Kind of have a look at what top laners we could add to Renekton. So right now, again, we've got Renekton, had an okay win rate on him. I don't know if I looked actually of how the mains do. So his overall win rate is 51%. The stronger that he gets is only a slight, well actually, that's 60%. If you're a main Renekton, again, that's how strong these champions are if you know what you're doing. It's why, I guess, some people do go, being a one-trick pony is a good way for climbing. Again, it may be, I just personally can never do that because I would find that incredibly boring. So there's that. So what other champions could I play? One springs to mind straight away that I enjoy is Olaf. So how's he doing? He's not known as a top laner. He's more known as a jungler, but still, there are some champions that have exceptions. His win rate is like 45% win rate in top lane, but if you're a main Olaf, it's only 51. It's not worth it. It was an idea to look at Olaf because I enjoy him, but let's just have a little look at other champions. So if we go back in Season 5, because I believe I played more top lane in Season 5, I did. So there's 3 champions that I can look into straight away. So recently I played Gnar, and we did okay with Gnar. We were against the Yasuo, and Gnar has like a 42% win rate against Yasuo. So Gnar is a possibility, but Gnar is quite weak right now. The second one is Alawi. At one stage, I think it was actually back in Season 5, I was in the top 100 Alawis in the world when she first got released. So let's actually see how Alawi's doing. She's not played very much, so a 4% win rate. 6.22 wasn't a good patch for her, but you can see that was the only patch recently that she had a negative win rate in. And the more games you play, she has a 56% win rate, but it also starts improving in the 15 to 50 game mark. That's pretty good. She does have counterplay, I'd say, in Diamond, because people know how to beat her. You just CC lock her or just run away. But she's a potential right now. She's got good carry potential. She's hard to lane against. She's hard to gank because she can 2v1. So I think I'm going to put Alawi in the champion pool. Again, I enjoy that champion. She's hard to beat. She's hard to deal with. She's similar to Renekton in some aspects, but she's also different. Renekton may have a little bit more early game carry potential, and Alawi has more late game carry potential. So that for me kind of works. Next champion on the bull, Aurelia. Let's just have a quick look at Aurelia and see how she's doing. So she currently has a 50% win rate. Not a great win rate, actually. She did better in past patches. But if you play her a lot, she's got a 55% win rate. So that's actually pretty good going. Again, anything over, like, I'd say if you're looking in this aspect of over 125 games, anything over like 54, 55% win rate, it's pretty damn good. Because that means you're just going to keep climbing and climbing if you maintain that, and you'll be climbing pretty damn quick. So Aurelia's a potential. The problem with Aurelia, again, her pick rate isn't crazy high, but the problem is her pick rate has been high for years. Like, everybody kind of knows how to deal with an Aurelia. She's not kind of a really niche pick because she's such a generic top laner. Alawi's weird and different. So I don't know if I'm going to put her in my pool. She's a question mark right now. So if we actually look at my top lane pool, we've got Renekton, we've got Alawi, both AD bruisers. Maybe I could have a top lane AP or a pure tank. I probably will actually have one of each. So if you're looking to my champions that I've played over the years, what fits that bill? So do we have anywhere? We have an AP top lane. Okay, let's look at Vladimir, see how he's doing. I know he got nerfed a little bit, but if he's doing okay... Nope, he's not. 54% win rate. And again, this is why I do look at win rates. If we look at his over 25 plus games, only a 52, nearly 53% win rate. It's not quite strong enough for me, so I'm not going to put Vladimir in my pool. Diana, she could be played as a top laner, but not crazy. Anything else? Okay, so I did say I wanted a pure tank. Let's look how Dr. Mundo is doing. He's always been a good pick for me over the years. His win rate is slightly negative, but if you've played over 125 games with him, it suddenly jumps to 54%. I enjoy Mundo. I've done well for him for years. He's a great pure tank that actually can win lane. Dr. Mundo is going to be my tank champion. So I know obviously some people say, oh, Renekton and Alawi can be played as tank. Not pure tanks like Dr. Mundo. So that's what we're going to put right now. And then finally, if we can kind of round off this top lane with an AP top laner, then we're doing quite well. So what could our potentials be? Well, off the top of my head, obviously there's Rumble. There's Rumble, obviously, that is the most known. You've got Maokai, but he's more of a tank. Rumble is looking likely that he's going to be maybe my choice. So let's actually just have a quick look how Rumble is doing as a top laner. I haven't put a lot of time into this champion, but I've always enjoyed him. He did have a negative win rate in patch 6.20, but it has been rising ever since. And if you play a lot of him, it's only a 52 basically % win rate. That's not great. So I might put it as, again, a question mark that I might come back to over the next couple days, couple weeks. Again, you don't need to rush this thing. You do want to make sure you've got a good champion pool. So I'm going to leave the top lane AP for now. It's going to be just random. Whenever I do find something that fits, I'll put it in. Maybe I won't even have an AP top lane and maybe we'll pick something else. But then finally, we got to look in my two really off roles. So AD carry and support. So I'll go for support first because I already know basically what supports I'm going to play. One of them is Alistair, and again, this is going to go against everything that I kind of say, because if I go on this guy's win rate, you can see here, well, it kind of goes against. He's got a negative win rate right now, and 125 games plus, he's only got a 51, nearly 52% win rate. So it does go against what I'm playing. Again, support is going to be my probably least played role. Again, this is only going to be for autofill. But I just like playing Alistair. If you guys watched the Alistair A to Z episode, I enjoyed it. I had fun. So I am going to put him in there because I personally just value fun in the support role over everything else, because I personally don't enjoy the support role. So I'm going to try and have as much fun as possible. The next champion may be a little bit smarter and a little bit more calculated. I'm going to just look into Janna. Her win percentage is always strong. And again, this is for Platinum Plus. I know a lot of low rating players don't see how Janna is strong. She's stronger the higher rating you go because people have more understanding. And again, my playstyle with Janna is aggressive. I don't play wimpy on her because that's basically pointless. I play aggressive, and you can see Janna main's 56%, 54%. She's a strong champion that does well in higher rating if you know what you're doing. So she is going to be my second. And I'm only going to have 2 supports, by the way. That's it. I'm not going to have any more than that. That's good enough for me. If one of them is picked, then I'll pick the other one because I can play Janna into Alistair and I can play Alistair into Janna. That works for me. And then if we finally go into the AD carry role and have a little look at what we could potentially play. In Season 6, I played a little bit of the role. Remember, if you go back on this website, we actually have a pretty damn good win rate on that role. So if we actually try and find the champions that we got that win rate with, so Jhin, we got a 50% win rate. Obviously, he's not one of the great ones. Jinx, negative win rate. Lucian, 0% win rate. So what champion did we get? Oh, well, there's Ezreal, 3 games played, 100% win rate. That's a good sign. Keep going up, keep going up. Where's the other champions? There should be more. Okay, Misfortune, 12 games played, 75% win rate. Like I mentioned earlier, though, she doesn't look to be very stable, that she potentially could get nerfed. I could put a question mark there, could give her a room page and maybe pick her. Is there anything else? Probably not. So my 2 highest win rate AD carries right now is Misfortune and Ezreal. So Ezreal, if you look into Ezreal, Ezreal usually has quite a poor win rate. So his win rate is negative. But again, the more you play Ezreal, the higher it goes up. AD carry isn't going to be a main role for me, so I don't really care about the statistics that much. I just care more about enjoyment. So I am going to put Ezreal in one of my AD carries. Because, again, I just enjoy playing the champion. I've got a 100% win rate. I know it's only in 3 games, but on my main account, that's not bad. And I am going to just put Misfortune here with a question mark, because I will make a rune page for her, but I just don't. I kind of want to see a couple more patches, see how her win rate is doing before I commit her completely to her. Commit her completely. I doubt I'm going to play any AD carry. Like, I just don't see myself getting autofilled to that role. It's unlikely, so I should be okay. But that is going to be today's video. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but again, these aren't quick things to do. I could have made this video probably 2 hours long if I went really in detail. But this is the base to my champion pool. I can tinker with it, I can play with it, I can kind of just do whatever I want to it, and I just noticed, because I didn't have the right window open, that you guys have had that cut off for ages. My apologies. But I can tinker with it. I can make specific rune pages that are good with these champions, that gives them strength in lane. I can get better with them by only playing these champions. And again, you do have to kind of commit to it. There's no point making a champion pool and then randomly being in champion select going, I'm going to play Vel'Koz. He's not in my champion pool. You can change your champion pool. There's no problem with that. But commit to the change. Don't just randomly go, I'm going to change him now, whoop-de-doo. Be like already before you go into a rank game, okay, Vel'Koz is looking pretty strong right now. I'm playing against a lot of them and they're doing well against me. I'm going to substitute out one of my champions for Vel'Koz. Or I'm just going to add Vel'Koz in and then give him a rune page. Maybe he has a different rune page. Maybe he has the same rune page as another champion. But don't just randomly pick champions in champion select, because that defeats the point of having a champion pool. But that's going to be the extra video for today. Hopefully you learned a little bit of how I craft rune pages. Hopefully it wasn't all over the place. It generally is an all over the place kind of experience, because you are just looking into so much information. You're also just going off your head going, I just enjoy playing that champion. So just kind of do the way that you want to. Again, this isn't the 100% correct way. This is just my way. So this is the way that I do it. If you've got a different way, put it in the comments. Share your champion pools down below, and maybe I'll say what I could probably improve, or like just maybe suggest a champion. And you know, you can use this opportunity to pick up more champions. If you're just like, I want to pick up a champion that I've never played before, obviously pick it in normals before you play it in ranked if you're relatively new to the game. Give it a dedicated rune page if you can. Obviously, to a lot of people, they may be like, I can't do dedicated rune pages. It's okay. Obviously, I'm just talking about what I do. But that's going to be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a massive like on the video. It will encourage me to do more videos like this that are a little bit random, a little bit more theory crafting, because I do enjoy doing them. So if you did, again, throw a like on it. Remember, we've got the Steel Series giveaway happening. It'll be linked down below. It's a new one for December. So like it, subscribe. See you guys next time. See ya.